Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hello, fellow adventurers. My name is Ray Apollo, and I love Divinity Original Sin 2. And that's what I'm here to talk with you about today. Divinity Original Sin 2 is developed by Larian Studios, and it's probably one of my favorite games of all time. Now, a lot of people ask, Ray, why is this game your favorite game of all time? Well, this game did exactly what I needed it to do. It let me do whatever I wanted in a world where the characters were incredibly interesting. They were well voiced. The music was incredible. The story kept me engaged. And not only that, there were romance options that were perfect. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about Divinity Original Sin 2, tell you about why I love it, but also encourage you to play it yourself. So I'm not going to spoil anything because I really do want you to go play this fantastic RPG. So Divinity Original Sin 2 takes place centuries after Divinity Original Sin, so you don't even have to have played that to understand what's happening. I know a lot of people were concerned about that at the start. Oh, have I had to play Divinity Original Sin to understand this? No, but if you have, you'll understand things a little better, is what I will tell you. So if you want to go play the first one, do so. But Divinity Original Sin 2, fantastic, and I love this game. I can't say that enough. So in Rivellon, where the game takes place, there is a form of energy known as Source. And people who can use Source and manipulate it and enhance themselves and summon things with it are called sorcerers. Go figure. So there are these gods. There's always some god. These gods have basically given up a collective portion of their power to give to one person, which sounds bad, right? And it usually is. Lucian. Lucian is also known as Divine, and he uses his powers to hold back something called the Void. However, Lucian dies not long before the game starts, and so there is this thing called the Veil that has been weakened, and now the Void and Rivellon are in this turmoil, and the battle begins. So these monsters called Creatures of the Void are coming in, and it's all bad. So you get to pick a few of the characters created by Larian, which I do encourage you if you haven't tried yet. But you can also create your own character, which is the best part of this. So you and I think you and maybe 4 of your friends can get together. Wait, 3 of your friends, 4 including you. I can count. Counting is good. Can create your own characters and experience this story from your own personal perspectives and kind of have like a small D&D campaign. Well, I can't say small because I've put over 240 something hours into this game. And experience this world for what it is as your own characters, which only increases the fun. I love this series because, like I said before, they let me do what I want. Have an NPC you don't like? Get rid of them. Have an NPC that you want to win over another set of NPCs? Figure out a way to tastefully remove them from the equation. There's so many things you can do, and I feel like a lot of the spaces that they've created in this game were just so well taken care of. You could tell that the people who were working on this game at Larian really, really cared about this project because the settings are just filled with little secrets and also little hints of if you pay attention to things, you can figure out different ways to solve different problems. For instance, there's a later point in the game where you're confronted by a troll, and trolls are very dangerous creatures in this game. And you can either fight the troll or give the troll something that it wants to, not fight you because it is very adamant about keeping you away from this one space. Well, I had a big brain moment and I said, you know what? I want to get rid of this troll because I didn't have enough persuasion to get rid of it. And I said, I can kill this troll, except I can't actually fight it. But what I can do is teleport it into a volcano where it will die. And that's exactly what I did. And I could not believe that worked. It's just, there are moments like that in this game where you're like, well, I wonder if I do this and how it will affect this, where you'll be so surprised that it actually works in your favor. I've had times where I had taken multiple barrels of oil and placed them on a battlefield what turned into a battlefield before a fight. And then I ignite them. And now the boss character is in a situation they had not planned on being in. It lets me do what I want. And I love being able to just have that freedom to play around in a world that wants me to be there, but also acknowledges that, hey, this person has their own ideas and ways of doing things, and we want to let you have that. But a big thing for me in video games in general is music. And I will tell you right now, Divinity Original Sin 2 has some of the best music period in video games. The soundtrack always fits really well with what you're doing, or when you're just traveling, it just works so well. One of my favorite characters in this game is called Losa, is one of the original characters by Larian. And her story actually kind of centers around music. She's a traveling bard that is possessed by a demon. And her goal is to either get rid of the demon or work with the demon. You get to choose. And I'll just say that the end of her quest is phenomenal. And her story can affect how the game ends overall, which I think she's the only character who has that option. So absolutely give Losa a shot, because when I first experienced that, I could not believe that was something that you could do with that character in this game. And to this day, Losa was my favorite playthrough. I've played through the game now probably 2.5 times. And trust me, that's a lot of time for this video game, but you can spend so much time doing so many different things. I've still had things that I have never seen. In my most recent playthrough, I discovered a whole portion of one area of the game that I had never seen because I just didn't try to explore enough. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go everywhere and do everything. And this is a game that when you take your time, you're rewarded for doing so in the best way. There are new characters to meet. There are new items to find. There are new enemies to slay. And it just makes you feel like this is a truly full adventure worth adventuring. And that is a huge reason why I love Divinity Original Sin 2. Not just that, the interactions amongst the characters, because the characters, of course, can talk with each other. I'm not sure about how conversations work with a group of created characters, because unfortunately, I haven't had enough time with my friends to do so. But when you talk with the characters that have their origins made in the game already, they all have such interesting perspectives about the events that are unfolding before you, and sometimes they don't agree. And that is one of my favorite parts of the entire thing. They don't always agree. I mean, there will be very serious moments where they all agree that some person should live or die, or that they should go to one place or another. But in most cases, they don't always agree or see eye to eye on what's happening or what you're doing as the player who's controlling this character's story, essentially. And I love that. It also gives you a sense of, well, yeah, no, I'm a part of this world, but I'm also experiencing this world through these characters. And I love the characters that they made. So, I mean, there's the Red Prince, who, I can't tell you too much about that because it's a spoiler and I want you to go find out. But the Red Prince is a very saucy character for multiple reasons, and he is one of my favorites, actually. Then there's Sibyl, who is my second favorite, who is an elf who's had a very, 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 very rough past and is trying to correct her future in I will say this, the future of multiple others that she knows. And it's incredible. But like I said, Losa, overall, my favorite character. She is courageous. She's also human, because she's terrified that this demon is going to overtake her, and what happens then, and how this demon affects not just her, but the entire game world, which was an amazing twist. Is that a spoiler? Maybe. Don't listen to that. Forget I said that. Anyway, Divinity Original Sin is one of my favorite games because it lets me do what I want to do as a player, but also as a character when I assume these roles in this world. And not only that, it gives me this full package of what I consider the video game. I have the music, I have the characters, I have the setting, I have the story. Those things make a fantastic game for me. So go out and play Divinity Original Sin 2. Enjoy it. If you want to talk with me about Divinity Original Sin 2, I'm at Ray Apollo on Twitter, and I would love to talk with you about this game because, again, it's just something that I love. It brings me joy, and I hope that that brings you a little joy too. Thank you so much for listening. Happy gaming.
We've made difficult decisions.
And there are still more ahead of us.
2 people aren't enough to save the galaxy.
We need the toughest,
Smartest.
deadliest allies.
We need you.
We need you to join us.
And listen to Reignite.
A certain point of view podcast about storytelling.
Love.
And Mass Effect.
Join us every other Thursday as we fight for the fate of an entire galaxy.
You can find us everywhere you get your podcasts.
Or at certainpov.com/reignite.
We're counting on you.
We should go.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.